Welcome back everyone, and this time is for UFC Fight Night 227, Grasso vs Shevchenko 2. The event is also called UFC Noche, but I don't know why. It does take place in Las Vegas. So we got a prelim card and a main card. The prelim card got 6 fights, and the main card 5 fights. So the first fight of the prelim card takes place in the strawweight division. And we've got Josephine Knutsson taking on Monique Mann. Josephine Knutsson is a massive favorite, yet both fighters are making their debut for this event in the UFC. I'm going to predict Josephine Knutsson to get the win by decision, since she got something like 9 wins and 8 by decisions. Of course, a finish is always welcomed for a debut. Next, in the lightweight division, we've got Alex Reyes making his return to the company after like 6 years, and Charlie Campbell making his debut in the UFC. For this one, I'm gonna predict Charlie Campbell to get the win, maybe a finish. I don't see Alex Reyes getting the win, but as he returns to the company, maybe he can move forward from his I think he lost his last fight, so he can move forward from this loss. Next, we go to the women's flyweight division, and this one kind of upsets me because we got 14th ranked Tracy Cortez taking on 15th ranked Jasmine Jasudavicius. They are both, I would say, in the betting odds, they are pretty similar. There are no favorites for this one. Yet I think that since Tracy Cortez is on a 10 fight win streak, she's going to get the win again, keep her win streak alive, and move on, climb up the rankings, maybe a number 12 spot, or maybe more. How this fight is going to go, maybe she's going to get a finish. I don't know if she has many finishes in her career. No, actually she has 1 knockout and 1 submission. But, well, maybe it's going to go the distance. A decision win is still a win. I'm not going to blame her if she doesn't get a finish for this fight. Reminder that they are both ranked fighters, so this is one of the toughest fights of both of their careers. Next, we go to the men's flyweight division as Edgar Chavez takes on Daniel Lacerda. This one is tough to call because Edgar Chavez and Daniel Lacerda comes from losses. However, the tricky part also, in addition of that, is Daniel Lacerda losing his last 4 fights in the UFC. He has yet to win in the UFC, but he has a 100% finish rate with 6 submissions and 5 knockouts, and almost like 10 out of 11 wins by finishes are in the first round. So it's kind of, if I got you in the first round, you're kind of done, but if not, I'm gonna lose. I take a note that Edgar Chavez is the favorite in betting odds. Still, maybe in the spirit of finally being able to get a win in the UFC, I'm gonna predict Daniel Lacerda to get the win by a finish in the first round. Any finish. He's good on the ground and he's good on the feet, so could be anything really. Next, in the middleweight division, we've got Roman Kopylov taking on Josh Fremd. And for this one, I'm going to predict Roman Kopylov to get the win, maybe by knockout. He's a massive favorite. Well, not massive, but a huge favorite in betting odds. Still, I don't think Josh Fremd has what it takes to beat him. Next is the final fight in the prelim card, and it's Lupi Godinez taking on Elise Reed in the strawweight division. And once again, there's a huge favorite in the betting odds, and that being Lupi Godinez. So, and even without the betting odds, I'm pretty confident Lupi Godinez is going to get the win by a finish. Probably a TKO in the second round. And that's it for the prelim card, meaning we now move on to the main card. And the first fight of the main card takes place in the featherweight division as Fernando Padilla takes on Kyle Nelson. They have pretty even records. I think it's something like 14 wins, 5 losses, something like that. So pretty similar. Still, I'm gonna predict Kyle Nelson to get the win and go against the odds, because it was like, yeah, he's the underdog in this fight. Still, I'm gonna predict him to get the win. Next, we actually go back to the lightweight division as Daniel Zeluber takes on Christos Giagos. For this one, I don't know. Maybe a split decision win for Daniel Zeluber. I don't know a lot about both fighters, so I can't be sure at 100%. Next, in the men's bantamweight division, we've got Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Terence Mitchell. If I remember correctly, it was a disappointment for everyone. Rosas Jr. lost back in April. It was his first loss in his career, and first loss, of course, in the UFC. As for Terence Mitchell, I think he has more experience in the UFC. Well, actually no, he doesn't have. He lost his debut. Well, he has more experience overall. He has a pretty important finish rate, almost 100%, and a crazy, maybe something like 80% finish rate in the first round. So my prediction would be, if he doesn't finish Raul Rosas Jr. in the first round, he might lose by decision, or maybe he finished by Raul Rosas Jr. I don't know how much he improved since his loss back in April. I would say, as a final prediction for this one, Raul Rosas Jr. getting the win by TKO in the third round. Next, we go to the welterweight division. Yeah, as 13th ranked Kevin Holland takes on 14th ranked Jack Della Maddalena. This one is a absolute banger. I think nobody saw it coming and nobody really asked for it. Still, it is totally deserving of the co-main event. I don't know if they're going to bring the 5-round fight. Clearly this co-main event being a 5-round fight, well, co-main event overall being 5-round fights, whether or not there is a title on the line, I missed that. The last one was Burns against who? Jeff Neal, something like that. I don't remember correctly. Anyway, no, it was Belal Muhammad against Gilbert Burns. So for this one, 3-round fight, fortunately, they can both put on a show, put on a performance, especially. I think of the show maybe more Kevin Holland. They are fan favorite, so it's really hard to have a favorite in the betting odds. This time around, I think, well, I can see that Jack Della Maddalena has a slight advantage in the betting odds, so we maybe have a more support from UFC fans. Still, I think Kevin Holland can bounce back. Well, bounce back. He won his last fight, so not bounce back, but keep his streak alive. more likely, and maybe defeat, Jack Delia Maddalena in the UFC. It would be its first loss. It would be its first loss. Once again, they both fight really actively. I think it's their third fight, both their third fight in 2023. So very active fighters. They are both sharps, both skilled, both talented, both ranked. They are pretty similar in terms of fighting styles. Well, not sure about that one, but they're impressive, for sure. It's the third time for both fighters to fight in the UFC in 2023. I'm excited for this fight. As for prediction, man, I don't know. Ultimately, I would like Kevin Holland to win and get more closer to a title shot eventually. However, Jack Delia Maddalena is on the rise, and I do like to see Kevin Holland switching on and off going to 185, so the middleweight division, and then 170 to the welterweight division. I like him doing that, taking on two division opponents, and can be 185 or 170 pounds. So Jack Delia Maddalena to get the win by decision. And with that said, we now move on to the main event, a 5-round fight for the women's flyweight title. Therefore, it takes place in the women's flyweight division, and we've got the champion Alexa Grasso defending in a rematch against the number 1 ranked Valentina Shevchenko. For this one, Valentina Shevchenko is a slight favorite, and that's understandable since she was a massive favorite, if I remember correctly, in the first fight, and Alexa Grasso shocked the world not just by beating the champion, but by submitting the champion. So for this one, we can expect everything. I don't expect a finish. I expect a total war. We know that Valentina Shevchenko can have a 5-round fight war. That happened before. We can expect everything from Valentina Shevchenko. A nickname Bullet is not for anything. She's really fast, and her striking is pretty much on point. As for Alexa Grasso, she shocked the world, and we can't deny that she has very good skills on the ground and on the feet. However, does she have enough to maybe upset the world, shock the world once again, and retain the belt? I don't think so. So this is why I'm predicting a decision win for Valentina Shevchenko, therefore regaining her flyweight belt. However, if she does not win the belt back, it would be time to move up a weight class, go to the women's bantamweight division, and claim the title back there. Because, in my opinion, I still think she won the 2 fights against Amanda Nunes, that you remember as the former bantamweight champion that relinquished her title earlier this year at UFC 289, or 288. No, it was 289. UFC 289. She reached both her belt, the bantamweight and the featherweight belt. This is why we don't have a women's featherweight division anymore, but there's still a women's bantamweight division with no champion back there. So if somehow Valentina Shevchenko doesn't win her belt back, I would really like her to go to bantamweight, claim that belt, and be champion. As simple as that. And that's it for UFC Fight Night 227. So I'll leave you there. Until next time.